Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, here we go. It is almost Friday night, and hopefully a bunch of us have just got paid, and you know what that means. I don't really know what. Let me turn my, here we go. I don't know what that means, but hey, it sounded good, didn't it? Welcome to a Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jax and on a bunch of 7 or 8 different social media platforms that hopefully you folks are taking the show in on. Feel free to drop us a chat. I will see it, or either Zach will read it, and we'll get you involved that way on the program. A lot to cover today. Hope to hear from Patrick Young. You never know on a Patrick Young Friday. It is Friday, and he probably did get paid because he's got like 19 jobs. So you never know with Patrick Young. Brent Beard should join us here in the second hour, I do believe. And we've got a lot of stuff to cover. I will welcome Zach Rothrock. Mr. Rothrock, Friday afternoon, and I do believe, did you just get paid? No?
Honestly, I've got this thing where I get paid one Friday and the wife gets paid the other Friday.
Oh, that's nice.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not sure which.
That y'all are rolling in the money, man. That makes you feel like you're rolling. Money coming in, money.
I will say that ever since we stopped having to pay for daycare, it does feel like.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
man, I remember with my little squirt now, who's almost 25. God Almighty, there was this little period. There's that period before they get to preschool and all, right? Mm-hmm. The preschool and the kindergarten and the first grade, all that becomes your, I hate to say it, but your babysitter, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
God,
man,
it's been nice.
Hey, man, you got that little window there. And, oh, man, I can remember, Zach, this is 24 years ago, calling around daycares. And, a lot of churches have daycare and morning care and all. And, man, I was like, now, ma'am, that price you just quoted me, is that for the year?
That is for this week.
Or for the week?
Yeah, this week.
And then I was like, well, I can't really afford this baby, so where can I take her? Can I? And she laughed. My daughter laughed. I said, Kendall, I threw the receipt away, so I couldn't take you back. Memorial Hospital wouldn't take you back. Oh, Zach, I feel for you, brother. So, is your little one now old enough to get out of that whole daycare thing and all?
Yeah, we're in going into first grade. We're in kindergarten.
Woo! Yay! Public school kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
It's good for you guys. But man, that's nice that you and wife are on a different pay period. That's nice, man.
Yeah, the alternation.
Always money, because you know what? You can't stretch money unless you got a little money, right? You got to have it to stretch it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can keep multiplying zero as much as you want. It's still going to stay zero.
Euro. 1 euro times euro ain't much money, right? Yeah. All right, Zach, we got a lot of stuff to get to today. Jaguars are less than 2 weeks away from the draft, and I don't know if you've heard this, and it's not a huge chatter, but I've heard a little bit. The Jaguars at number 5, should they consider Ashton Jeanty, the running back? And, people that are saying this are saying, well, look what the running back position did for the Eagles. And Jeanty is being talked about as a special running back. I think that would be the absolute stupidest thing the Jacksonville Jaguars could do at 5.
Yeah, and so I believe where you're pulling this from is it's an NFL Network mock draft.
Is that right? Okay.
Has him going there. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why that's an awful pick. And I guess the first thing I kind of want to address with that is, someone trying to say that it would be like the Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles. Hey, man, Saquon Barkley was just on the Giants until this previous year.
With a bad offensive line.
Yeah, and he was great.
Yeah.
He made plays. He did things. They didn't win very many games because of it. He could barely make it through the season every year because of it.
Yes, I agree. I like Ashton Jeanty. I do think I do think he's special, and I do think he will get yards that aren't there. He's one of those kind of guys that can find extra yardage, and I think he's going to be a long-time player in the league. Not for this franchise, though. My God, if they were to if this new group literally drafted Ashton Jeanty at 5, I would say fire them all. They truly don't know.
I don't think they will. I think that's just.
I don't think so.
It doesn't fit with because they've hired this. We've talked about how young their whole front office is now, and the whole approach of these younger guys is to. I'm not going to say completely devalue the running back position, but look at it more as a second day pick. Or third day draft pick position, and I just don't see it coming.
I'm with you.
And Ashton Jeanty, I can't pinpoint the exact moment or in time when I felt this, but at some point last football season when I was watching Jeanty and I was watching Dallas, I was like, it just feels like he's going to be a Cowboy.
I thought 6 months.
Number 10.
Yep. When I started first looking at some of these draft things, I did the same thing. You know what? Ezekiel Elliott. His 4 or 5 year peak years with Dallas, he was the right guy. He was a great fit, and then he got old and got slow, and that happens. But, man, I'm with you. When I saw where Dallas is picking, I saw some of these mocks, I go, man, that's perfect. Jeanty to Dallas. The reason I like Jeanty, I have no issue. My statement I just made has nothing to do with Ashton Jeanty, the running back, the player.
Oh, yeah, of course.
My statement has to do with, I think if he comes to Jacksonville at 5, he will have to bust his ass to get 3.1 yards a carry because the offensive line. I mean, I don't care who. Jim Brown's not rushing for a lot of yards behind the line that they have. They have to go offensive line, in my opinion. I don't care if that's at 5 or trading back and getting a proven player. If they go anywhere but offensive line, I then raise the red flag because I have a red flag halfway up the red flag pole right now. Meaning, do you realize the Jaguars' top 5 positions in their organization are all second-string guys. Their head coach has never been a head coach. He was a second-string head coach. Their general manager has never been a general manager. He was a second-string general manager.
Oh, I see.
Their offensive coordinator was never a full-time offensive coordinator. He was a second-string offensive coordinator. Their defensive coordinator, same thing. He was a second-string. And their top executive in the front office, Tony Baselli, he's a never second-string. He's never even done it. The top 5 positions in their organization are all at highest. They've ascended to second string. If you told a Jaguar fan, who are the Jaguars' who are their biggest rival? Is their biggest rivals Titans?
I would say the Titans. You can say the Colts, but Titans, Colts.
Titans, Colts. Sure. Let's say Titans because of what they did that one year and knocked them out of the Super Bowl, most people think. If this year the dreaded rival Tennessee Titans were heading into their season with never head coach, never offensive coordinator, never defensive coordinator, never general manager, and player personnel director, brand new, Jaguar fan would go, that's a recipe for disaster. That's never going to work, right?
I mean, maybe.
I think they would.
Or maybe those guys just haven't learned how to do it the wrong way yet.
Maybe.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to get the right players in, and you got they just got to. So if you want to get Ashton Jeanty to reflect what the Eagles have done, what the Eagles did not do is spend a top 5 pick on a running back. What they've done is they've built their offensive line and their defensive line for years and years. And they've spent assets every offseason on it. And so that's what you got to do.
And I think if I can add on to your statement right there, and feel free to say, Terry, no, you're adding on wrong. But if I can add on to your statement there, not to take anything away from Saquon Barkley, but behind that offensive line they constructed, they could have probably had 4 or 5 different guys in the league that they brought in that would have been pretty damn successful, running back wise.
Oh, I mean, that's what they did have. I mean, Miles Sanders, he was a guy who was kind of just a guy, and he was incredibly successful behind that offensive line, and then he went to the Panthers and was kind of never heard from again.
So we got a lot to get into. I just wanted to throw that out. If the Jacksonville Jaguars did do what 1 or 2 of these little mocks are saying, Ashton Jeanty, he's a generational running back. That all may be true, and he is special. I do think he's special. I think he's a guy that's different, a different maker than other running backs, but not with what you have. I think if you took Jeanty at 5, the Jaguars, that would set the organization back 2 more years. They've got to work on their line of scrimmage. Offense first, and I think defense second. We can keep that going. A couple of other things. Want to get into this, and especially with Brent Beard a little bit later. With the new college sports portal and NIL and moving around free agency, Zach, I said this well into last year. I said, listen, we've got to get you, college football and college sports fans, you got to think different. It's now professional sports. You've got, if you keep thinking the old way, you're going to smash your head against the wall. You've got to understand that college football and college basketball specifically, that's pro sports. It's pro sports. Now, with that said, I started telling you, the fan, a year ago at least, I said, listen, get your thought process right. The good old days of win one for the Gipper and I'm wearing my it's professional sports, number one. Number two, I said, listen, everything that you see happening, good and bad, in the NFL is going to trickle down to college. College players are professional athletes. Now, a long-winded way, Zach, of me telling you, have you seen what's going on with Nico at Tennessee?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I have seen his name floating around. I saw he was trending.
Let me jump into what's going on with Nico, the quarterback at Tennessee. Second year, started last year, 5-star. And I've been telling you folks, be ready. Everything that happens in the NFL, pro sports, football, is going to start happening at college. Good, bad, indifferent. And I've tried to prepare you folks. You are going to have your favorite school, some of your favorite players at your favorite program school. You're going to have this thing called holdouts. Holdouts happen when money is involved and players think they deserve more money. And Nico at Tennessee is basically holding out. Pete Thamel's been involved reporting this. Nico at Tennessee, the starting quarterback who's coming back, who already has a big NIL deal, supposedly. The word is he has not shown up for spring practice, and it is a power play. Get ready. Yeah. Get ready. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but just get ready. You're going to have college, particularly football players, as we get deeper and deeper into this thing year after year. And Zach, don't think that the time to really holding out right now in spring is a big deal, right? Okay, you're holding the school. You got some power. Let me tell you when you're going to start seeing holdouts. How about early August, when the season is 3 weeks away? It happens in the NFL. It has happened. Hell, the great Emmitt Smith held out with Dallas 3 weeks into the season. Got his deal, came back. Holdouts happen in professional sports, and they're going. Get used to it, fan. Zach, your boy Lenora Sellers, I could see. We want him to hold out, man. Hold out, baby. Get the money.
Well, I mean, it's
going to happen, Zach.
They got out in front of it and extended him a contract at least for his sophomore season.
You see where I'm going? It's going. Get used to it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I get it. And honestly, man, if I'm Tennessee, I mean, I obviously don't know what type of other options they have, but if you can get another guy besides Nico Amalivia, I would go. I would do it. I wouldn't pay him though. He's asking for $4 million.
It is interesting that Nico, he started for the first time. Remember, I think he's from California. Big recruit. Now.
Yes,
this guy was he was a 5-star big recruit. He was average. He was average, and I'm not a Tennessee guy, but I'm a college football guy. I got a lot of Tennessee buddies. One of my best friends in the world is a Tennessee guy. Nico started this year. This was his first year starting, right? Nico really didn't play superstar level, and he didn't get any better as the season went on. But I don't know. Maybe he thinks if I hold out right now, like you said, Zach, there's not a lot of options. You better have a guy on the roster that can jump up. I know the portal's about to open, but this is more of a statement across all you fans. Before you start chuckling at Tennessee and Nico and the holdout, this is going to be part of it. This is what happens in pro sports. Athletes feel they're wronged. They feel they've outgrown their contract, or another player that they think they're better than at another school got a bigger contract. You hold out. You hold out. Get ready for this.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy to me. If you look at his 2024 stats, just from the outside looking
Average
in,
player.
well, it says he got 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So like, that seems pretty good, right?
Yeah,
But really, he just compiled those in their easier games.
Yeah.
They really only played 3 tough games.
Yeah.
Extremely like hard games. It was Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. He got 1 touchdown in those 3 games and never broke 200 yards.
How about that?
So yeah, it's just in the biggest
and I
moments we
get
need
it.
him, he couldn't do it.
And I get it. Tennessee had a good running back. Sampson was
Yeah.
nice and all, but I don't think they were running for 300 yards on Alabama, Ohio State, and whoever you said. You know,
No, they got blown out against Ohio State.
Yeah.
And Georgia was the third one.
and Georgia. They weren't running for 300 yards.
Definitely not.
But this is really not a Tennessee Nico thing as much as it is a PSA. Guys, I've been trying to tell you, get ready, and get ready for your favorite school. Plug in the name, whoever it is, South Carolina, Florida, FSU, Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, whoever. Get ready. You're jacked up. All right, man, we got a good team coming up this year. We are XYZ, man. Yeah, we're loaded. Well, hey, camp opens up August 10th. We practice for 21 days. And, buddy, we play our first game on August 28th. We're going to make a run to the national title. We're loaded. What? Wait, what? It's August 8th, and our starting quarterback says he's not reporting to camp unless he gets a new deal. That's professional sports. Get ready for it, folks. This Nico thing is not a one-off, is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's definitely not.
No. Get ready, and get ready to be pissed off, but you don't think the Yankees were pissed off when their star held out? You don't think, name the guy. You don't think Dallas was pissed off when Emmett held out?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Emmett held out 3-4 weeks into the season.
They started 0-2 and then won the Super Bowl when he came back.
And when he came,
Yeah.
yeah. This is, like it or not, it's professional sports. And people, and don't give me the, and please, Joe fan out there, don't give me, these guys need to honor their contract that they signed. That doesn't work in pro sports.
Oh, yeah, the coaches never do, so why should the players?
No. And you know what? Frankly, at your job, if you sign a contract, you're on a salaried position, you sign a contract, you get this much salary, you get this many days off, you've got this much medical, you've got this much, blah, 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 blah. You know what? When your company starts raking in the money, it's not uncommon to, hey, boss man, can we talk?
Yeah.
I'm running that division, and we hit our numbers like crazy. Can we talk about my, I know I'm knocking down 50 per my contract, but my God, look at our numbers. I want 70, or, I want 70. Okay, well, what if I don't give you? Well, okay, well, that guy then may think his resume, because he got that company making a lot of money, he can go knock on the competitor's door and say, hey, looks like I'm going to be a free agent here. Here are the numbers I put up. Their numbers the manager put up is the same as the running back saying, here are the touchdowns and yards I put up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to come to that. And I feel like it's going to get to where the more we do this, the more kind of slotted these positions are. And the it's going to be like, you can't really negotiate that. But I feel like this scenario where the player views their value as more than the school does is going to be where these come around. And I think I would have to imagine that if Nico had overperformed and they had won some of those games and he did put together like 300-yard, 3 touchdown performances in those big games, I bet they would be.
They might have boosted him.
Yeah, they'd be more willing to do it, but they're just saying like not so fast. What is this?
They might have boosted him.
Maybe.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's just interesting. It's the way of. It's the way of business.
It's probably going to wind up being less star quarterbacks and more fringe, like defensive ends, cornerbacks, receivers, things like that. I could, and receivers. I could see those type of players getting lumped into this category where they view themselves as.
I also think let's fast forward 10 years. Let's jump 10 years from right now, when I think there's going to be much more structure. The college athlete's going to be a contracted employee. There's going to be a union. The colleges will have basically their ownership union, right? same as the owners in the NFL, and the players will have their players union, same as the NFL, right? If we fast forward to, I do think this current group right now, because everything is new and being worked out, I think this, and the phrase you hear a lot is Wild Wild West. Free agency, you're not tied down. You can cut a deal every year, blah, blah, blah. I think this group, this first 4, 5, 6, 7 year group, or actually 0 to 5 or 6 that we're in right now, this group's going to look back and you're going to go, wow, they had a lot of leeway because there were no guardrails in place. Guardrails are coming, but I think this first 5 years or so leans toward the player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Leans toward the player. We're going to look back and go, wow, remember those first 5 years? It was the Wild Wild. Well, it was the Wild Wild West, and you know why it was the Wild Wild West? Those 2 senators in California forced it all. They forced it all, and they said, you better start getting this right. They forced it all before the NCAA was told it was coming, and to put new rules and regulations in place. Keep in mind, I always say this. The NCAA was formed and has governed for well over 100 years amateur athletics. They were never formed and told, you've got to be able to run professional athletics. Totally different animals. Totally. It's like you, Zach Rothrock, running a roofing company, and tomorrow I say, Zach, starting tomorrow, you have to offer roofing and plumbing. Well, wait a minute. I'm a roofer, not a plumber. Wait a minute. I'm an amateur organization, not a totally different animals. Totally.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Yeah. And they obviously do not have it figured out or buttoned up. They're opening the college basketball transfer portal during the Sweet 16.
Yes.
Feels like that's probably not the optimal time to do that.
Right.
So, yeah. There's a lot of, nothing is perfect with this.
Yeah.
And the NCAA has been doing it wrong for a long time.
I know we've taken this a little bit long, and I keep pointing out, and we use the NFL as the model because the NFL really knows what the hell they're doing. They're the NFL. The NFL didn't roll out all these things that college athletics is going through right now. The NFL didn't roll out all these things 100% perfect year one. No, the NFL spent decades massaging and changing and manipulating. What do we do with free agency? Is it 1 year? Is it 4 years? Do they wait a minute? Can you put? Hey, I got an idea. 6 years in, we'll do this thing called a franchise tag. No, the NFL took decades to figure out salary cap. They manipulated it. Decades for free agency. Decades for the draft and stocking your roster. This stuff doesn't happen in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The NFL took decades to get where they're at, and they still tweak things, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every offseason they're changing a rule or changing a thing here or there, expanding the salary cap, changing
or the players are asking for something, the owners are asking for something, and they're negotiating and meeting in the middle. These people out there, these fans that think college football is a disaster because they don't have all the rules and regulations. Well, dude, this all just got started. What are we, 4 years in?
Yeah,
it just got started.
One of the best college football seasons I can remember.
Unbelievable.
And it was very entertaining because of this. Yeah, but, I mean, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on what side of the fence you're on, the next few years are probably going to be won by who can afford to just overpay for players.
Probably.
Much like Ohio State did. But, I mean, once we get down the road, we get the regulation. There's got to be the guardrails in place. We'll get that. And, honestly, frankly, that's probably when Alabama was going on their dynastic run. They were probably the team that was also paying the players the most money in the Wild Wild West.
And I don't think you mean that in a horribly cheating way, but No,
I'm sure they weren't the only ones.
Before there were rules, I agree.
Tennessee was famously handing out money in McDonald's bags at the drive-thru. They just happened to get caught.
How great is that?
Yeah, I know.
I'll take a big Mac.
A million Mac.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And the lady rang up the register, and you saw it said $100,000, and then it was a negative $100,000, meaning it got paid for somewhere, right? Yeah. She canceled that out because Billy Booster is in the drive-thru handing out the bag.
Yeah, I mean, what an operation.
How great was that?
Yeah.
What was that? Jeremy Pruitt was the coach at the time?
I think so, yeah.
And he worked a deal where they paid cash. Hard cash was in McDonald's bags.
I mean, could you imagine being one of the people that, like in the drive-thru, they actually mix up the bags, you just get it? Would you return it, or would you just, pocket
no. Well, hey, first thing I would do if I figured it out, I would call Tennessee and say, I got your $25,000 bag here. I'm not Joe running back, but
if you want to stay quiet, you need to give me 3 more.
Thank you. If you want me to be quiet, I need 75 hunch in a Burger King bag. I'm going through Burger King in an hour.
Yeah, we can do one of each. We can go to Wendy's. We can do
how do you want to play it there? Hey, Tennessee AD, head coach, how do you want to play it? And I do want 2 Big Macs, fries, and a large Coke in there.
I would still be hungry. You still got to eat it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I was there.
Yeah, I still want 2 Big Macs, fries, and a supersized drink, of course. So,
yeah.
All right, let's take a break. As we do, I'm going to throw this out. Zach, you and I can talk about it, and we can have some chat about it if you want to chime in with our chat line. I'll try to read some of your thoughts. Here it is. Here's our tease going to break. We can keep Jaguar talk. Would they be stupid to draft the running back? I say yes. Here's our tease, Zach. You ready? Is Gator basketball now, with their 3rd national title, is Gator basketball statue-worthy? Statue-worthy. Think about it. We'll talk about it on the other side. Cruising through a Friday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle, Zach Rothrock producing. Hope to hear from Patrick a little bit later. And certainly we've got Brent Beard lined up. He'll have a lot to talk about with regard to Nico holding out at Tennessee. That and a whole lot more. We continue right here on Action Sports Jax. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jax Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Okay, here we go. Get your headset on, Terry. It's Friday. Hey, here we go. We're fine. We're back here. Let me hit a couple buttons and we get going here. Terry Norvelle, Zach Rothrock producing. We've got Patrick Young a little bit later, we think, and of course Brent Beard will check in with us. We talked some Jaguars. Jeanty, #5. I think that would be a huge mistake. Most people, I think, agree, but there have been a couple of reports saying, hey, maybe the Jaguars need to go after Ashton Jeanty, another weapon on offense. I think that would be a disaster. Nothing against Jeanty. I just don't think their offensive line is ready to open up many holes for a hotshot running back. Back we are here on the program. I threw this out. Zach Rothrock, I want to get your thoughts. I think you understand where I'm going. Is Gator basketball statue-worthy? You know, Gator football, they have 3 incredible statues outside Florida Field. Tebow, of course, Warfel, and Spurrier. And
Seen them.
All 3 of those guys have their hand on a national title. Coach Spurrier coaching a national title. Warfel quarterbacked a national champion. And Tebow was a quarterback for a national champion, right? But also, they have this thing called the Heisman Trophy behind them as well. So are they, do they have a statue because of the Heisman Trophy or the Heisman, the national championship, or a combination of the two? With that said, basketball really doesn't have an equivalent of a Heisman Trophy. Yes, you can be the AP Basketball Player of the Year. Broom got it, and Flag got it, and but there's not. So, with all that said, Florida football has 3 incredible statues outside of Florida Field around the 3 national titles that they've won in football, and around the 3 Heisman Trophy winners.
Correct.
Should Gator basketball start putting up statues outside the O-Dome? I say yes.
Yeah, the only bad thing is the first answer is yes, but the only thing that I have to ask about it is if they made one for, let's say, Walter Clayton Jr., however they choose to do it, would they then feel the obligation to retroactively go back and make one for Horford, Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer, one of those guys?
Absolutely yes, and B, number 1, absolutely yes. Number 2, I think yes, basketball should have statues out front. Now, if I was in charge at Florida, they came to me and said, Terry, how do we do it? We want to do it. Well, number 1, the first statue and the only for a year or 2 would be Billy Donovan. You've got to put.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would put
Billy. Just got in the Hall of Fame.
Just got in the Hall of Fame, 2 national titles.
Yeah.
You don't want to poo-poo Lon Kruger. He took Florida to their first Final Four in '94. Okay, that was a nice run. I'm not so sure that is statue-worthy.
Probably not. Billy
Donovan picked it up and took it to heights never seen. Billy Donovan won 2 national titles. Don't forget his other Elite Eights and one other championship game that he got to and they lost. I mean, Billy Donovan is the godfather of Gator basketball. No doubt about it. So, I think, yes, Gator basketball should start doing statues. Now, you get 3 titles now, and you're the only program that has 3 football, 3 basketball. Why does football deserve? If I'm Florida, Billy Donovan's my first statue, and he sits there for a couple of years. My second statue in about 3 years would be 4-in-1, a statue of 4. It would be the 04s. It would be those 4 guys that came in all together, Torian Green and Corey Brewer and Joakim Noah and Al Horford. And I don't know what to do with Lee Humphrey didn't come in exactly. He was the 5th starter. You may even put him in there.
Wait, so this is crazy. I'm just sorry to pause for so Al Horford came to Florida. He was a freshman in 2004.
Yes.
And he's still playing in the NBA.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's
yes.
21 years later.
Yes.
I mean,
hell of a career. But I would put those 04, maybe just the starting 5. They went back to back.
Yeah.
So Donovan would be first, the 04 second. After several years, you almost put Donovan out there alone for a couple years out of respect, if you know what I mean. And you don't,
that makes sense.
You water down a statue Hall of Fame, which it would be considered, if you put somebody in every year. Then it gets watered down.
For sure.
But Donovan won a couple years. I would put the starting lineup for the 04s. That was a magical, incredible, rarely done, back-to-back. And a couple years from then, Walter Clayton would be my third. I mean, what he's done in 2 years, and Walter Clayton was the backbone of this team. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so he would be he would have to be. He's the first one that will be a transfer then. Probably not the last. It's probably going to become more and more common as we go ahead. But yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely deserves it though. I mean, feels like he's the most dynamic player that's come through here. Feels like they would have gone nowhere near a championship without him. Absolutely.
And I still, and I understand. I lived it. You did a few months ago. We saw it happen. I think, and this doesn't matter. They won the national title. Clayton was a first-team AP, first-team All-American. I get all that. It's almost like sometime with the Heisman Trophy, one guy, the first 7 or 8 weeks, gets so much publicity that guy's going to win it no matter what in totality happens in this season. I feel that happened with Janai Broome and Cooper Flagg. Janai Broome did have a really good year. But it was, gosh darn, I bet you it was the first week of January. It was pretty much understood across the media boys, not all of them, but a lot of them, the SEC and probably player of the year in college basketball is Janai Broome. He was handed the trophy, but in totality, if you looked at the entire season, when they tipped it off November 7th or whenever, all the way through the end of the season, Walter Clayton had a better year than Janai Broome in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
Walter Clayton had a more consistent and a better year. But it was considered Broome's trophy about January 1st. I don't know.
Yeah, and it seemed like the only player that I ever heard anyone talk about on the national stage was Cooper Flagg. It wasn't even Janai Broome. It was always Cooper Flagg.
And Cooper Flagg got the trophy by January 1st, if you really think about it. I don't think Clayton had a chance against Broome, SEC Player of the Year, and I don't think Broome had a chance against Flagg, National Player of the Year, and I thought both of those were, quote-unquote, awarded too early. They didn't take the totality of the season.
Yeah, they went ahead and just ran with the momentum. Almost kind of like what happened in the NFL. It felt like they just handed it to Josh Allen around Thanksgiving, even though Lamar Jackson really passed him by the end.
That's a real good point. But I definitely think if you're Gator Athletics, you really have to start considering you need to put some statues out now. I mean, that's tall cotton now. That is tall cotton. And I hope the University of Florida marketing department does a much better job. I was on this and have been on this forever. The Florida Gator athletic program, the Florida Gator football, basketball programs, they are still to this day the only college program that concurrently, and that means at the same time, concurrently, Florida is the only program to concurrently hold the football national championship and the basketball at the same time.
Yeah,
nobody's ever done it. The the 05, 06 back-to-back national title basketball, they coincided with Urban Meyer's first in 06.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever done that. Florida never promoted that. To me, that's the ultimate point to the scoreboard. Hey, Michigan. Hey, Ohio State. Hey, Alabama. Hey, USC. Hey, Tennessee. Hey, Georgia. Hey, everybody. Nobody has ever done that. And Florida did a miserable next to, they never promoted that. Now, where I'm going, I would promote the hell out of the University of Florida is the only athletic program in the history of intercollegiate athletics in Division I to have won 3 football and 3 basketball. They better promote the hell. They didn't promote the first thing I told you. How do you not use that as the ultimate score? I don't know.
That's tough. You call it the double. They did a double triple, not a triple double, but a double triple.
I don't know what that means. Explain that.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's why I'd make a good T-shirt idea. It's the double triple. You got 2 different sets of triple championships.
Does that mean I get 2 scoops of ice
The
cream
double
and, a,
triple.
and a double hamburger
I
patty?
bet there's a way to cross promote that with something. We had to find a buyer, but
I like it. But man, I hope Florida does a better job than. I'll tell you another thing. We got into this a little bit the day after, but I want to go back. Not. I mean, let me qualify what I'm about to say. Not that Gator Nation isn't and hasn't always. Gator Nation's a big. You say Gator Nation, I mean, there's Gators all over the country. There's Gators all over the world. There's Gator clubs everywhere. The Gator brand is big. You can feel immediately this has been a nice shot in the arm to Gator Nation. Sometimes you just need a shot in the arm to hey, all right, we still are one of the big boys. I can feel it. I'm telling you, this is going to have this is going to go all summer. This is going to have long-lasting impact. But this is a nice shot in the arm for Gator Nation. The brand, and I don't mean the trash-talking Gator fan. You know what I'm talking about. The Gator Nation. Nice shot in the arm, Zach. Nice shot in the arm.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to see the boys get on top and finish, and the SEC to get a win and all that. And it obviously provides a nice distraction from the fact that the baseball team is struggling and DJ Lagway is nowhere to be found.
Shut your filthy mouth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Why?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's positive. It's good to be positive. It's good to have that.
That was like kicking me in the, you know what? But
I'm saying you don't have to think about
Zach,
those things.
your rationale is
you don't have to think about how bad the baseball team is. And
you
DJ
kicked me in the giblets, but you said I didn't kick you twice in the giblets, right?
Yeah. No, I was saying.
By the way,
look,
baseball team just won the series over FSU.
They did.
They just routed
a midweek season.
They just routed Missouri last night, and Missouri hasn't won a conference game. So look out, baby! They're finding it. And what was it? Oh, Lagway. You know what?
Yeah, you just don't even got to think about that. You can just think about the basketball national championship all summer. Don't even got to worry about Lagway.
Getting back to the SEC, and it just means more. Do you realize the SEC is holding the basketball championship and the baseball championship? Tennessee is the champion in baseball until dethroned.
Oh yeah, look out! Hey, if we could have the Triple Crown.
Now, if that lowly SEC stupid football conference could start carrying their weight,
those pesky.
Right?
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Right? Actually, think about this. If the SEC could win it in football this year.
They could hold the Triple Crown.
Because Tennessee, the College World Series will have played before football, obviously.
Oh, yeah, they got to win that.
But Tennessee holds it right now.
Yeah.
And the SEC, my God, they're 1 through 6 in the poll right now. Arkansas's got to win it. Tennessee's got to repeat. Georgia's up there. LSU's up there. I mean, it is they got a real somebody's going to win it out of the SEC, aren't they?
Yeah, it feels like they got a pretty good shot at someone pulling away from that. Maybe Tennessee with the repeat. Yeah.
Who was it? I read somewhere it was in the Final Four. Who was it? Oh, who did Houston knocked out Tennessee? Right?
Yeah, in the round before.
And the word is Houston's fans, when they were beating the brakes off of Tennessee because they beat them up so bad, they started the SEC derogatory.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. I heard it on the broadcast.
The derogatory SEC.
Yeah.
SEC.
Oh, yeah.
They got him some SEC there, didn't they?
At the end of the day, it did come back to bite him. It does mean more.
Yeah, it does. It just means more. But I think Gator basketball needs to really start now. That'll be an easy sell. You've got to believe boosters would line up near and far to say, I'll chip in for what's it cost? One of those bronze statues got to be $50,000 or $100,000, right? Those big, nice statues.
Yeah, they can just have another auction at the restaurant.
Yeah.
They'll have enough to pay for that.
Did you hear where the Gator baseball guy, Gator's new baseball field that was built, 3 years ago now, I guess, about 3 years old?
Condron
Ballpark.
Yeah, there's a big space in it, though. If you look between the N and the D, Condron Park.
What do you mean? Where is it?
Oh, at the ballpark. If you look at the
who notices that? What wacko notices?
Let me tell you. I'll be honest. This is not my original thought. This is from the other show that I produced in the morning. The other host, but once Mr. Shea Matthews pointed it out, I could not look at it.
On the backstop. Or everywhere?
Yeah, I think it's anywhere that the Condron Park is out there. I think it's on the entrance. I think it's above the press box.
Where's the space between what letter and what letter?
I think it's the N and the D. Condron. It's what it
There's
says.
a big space?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think they hit the space bar too many times. They were cracking the logo.
That's literally the guy's last name, right? Condron?
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Yeah.
The reason I asked, if it was his corporation, Condron, or you know what I mean, I could see it.
It's a name.
Yeah. I can't believe this guy paid for the baseball park and they screwed up the name.
It's spelled right.
But there's a space.
Oh yeah.
Shane's weird. If I don't notice that tonight,
once he pointed it out, though, I couldn't not see.
Don't you hate that?
One of those can't unsee type.
Don't you hate that when somebody points something out and you go, "Damn it! That's actually the lyrics of the song." I've been saying this the whole time. I hate the song now, right? I hate the song.
So you like the Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze better when you thought he was saying "Kiss the Sky," and then you saw he was saying "Kiss the Sky," and you were like, "What? I want him to kiss the guy."
Yeah. Kiss the guy. What?
I can see that.
Damn it. Why'd you tell me that?
He's kissing the sky.
Damn it.
I know.
I love that song until 12 seconds ago.
Yeah, my bad.
Way to go.
That's what I do.
Way to go.
I ruin things.
We'll get into this with Brent Beard. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here after Florida just won a national title. And certainly I don't want to be Debbie Downer with Alabama playing really the highest level of basketball over a period of time they've ever played. But you wonder, that Denver job is open in the NBA, Denver Nuggets, and word was they may be talking to Danny Hurley. There's a little rumor going around that they may be talking to Nate Oats as well at Alabama. Nate Oats at Alabama, and I look at Todd Golden and Nate Oats, both really good coaches. They both are going to the NBA at some point. They've got NBA written all over.
Todd Golden feels like an NBA guy, yeah.
I think Nate Oats as well. Nate Oats looks like a player's coach. He's kind of hip and with it. He's young. He looks the part. I'm going to ask Brent Beard that as well. I'm going to make this statement. I think if both Florida and Alabama basketball, if they could squeeze out 5 more years from Golden and Oats, I think they should take it and run. Think about it. If Golden stays 5 more years, he would have been at Florida 8 years with a title. That's a long time in modern athletics. Where the days of Krzyzewski for 36 years at Duke and Bowden for 30 whatever years at Florida State, those days are gone. Same thing when I think Nate Oats has been at Alabama one more year than
2019 is when they hired him.
Than Golden, yeah. So they both have the look, and they're young. A guy like Bruce Pearl made a nice run. His window, he's not the NBA is not chasing Bruce Pearl at his age, right? They're not chasing that guy. They chase the next Pat Riley lookalike guy, kind of. The NBA is flashy and it's great athletes and young guys. Bruce Pearl is more of he's not a player's coach, but Bruce Pearl's more of a do it with rally the troops and all that. That's not
he's a rah-rah guy.
Yeah, rah-rah, much more than But I'll tell you one thing. If Florida and Alabama could sign up right now to guarantee they get 5 more years from each guy, I think they'd take it and run. I think the NBA is going to grab both of these guys.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe bet. It seems like Danny Hurley is the guy whose name is going to come up anytime any coaching job comes up.
Yeah.
Almost like how Nick Saban's name probably will come up, even though he'll probably never take it.
Yeah.
That's just what you do. But yeah, as far as Todd Golden with Florida goes, I think that's he does seem like an NBA guy.
And his age. My God.
Yeah, I mean, still real young.
It
almost feels like, I think he's got a son that is in middle school.
Is that right?
So maybe, I mean, like I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here. I mean, maybe he wants to stay at Florida till his son graduates, and then he'll look to uproots. I mean, maybe that'll buy you a couple of years.
And you always have to go back to, and I think I've done over the years a really good job explaining this. Sometimes I do it in person to fans that ask me. When a lot of fans, and people are probably watching right now going, why would you, the NBA, why would Todd Golden? He's got it going. He can ask for anything he wants. He's the man. He could stay at Florida, college basketball, March Madness. He could win multiple titles. Why? I always use this analogy. When you're a head coach and you're successful, if the pro league is calling you, be it the NFL, be it the NBA, when the big leagues call you, if you're at that level, you're competitive. And if you're at that level, you think you're really good. Say what you want. You think you're really good.
Sure.
Okay. With all that said, I correlate it. If you're a movie star, an actor, if you have a massively popular television show, you name the show, and it has a 6, 7, 8, 9-year run, and it is Friends, or you name the show, whatever. If you have a massively popular and you have made gobs of money, and you could stay with that franchise another 5 years and make money on TV, that's wonderful, and you've made it. But the big screen, the movie screen, is the biggest level, highest level of your profession.
Yeah.
And you want to see if you can conquer that. That's why they jump from college to the NFL. That's why they jump from the colleges to the NBA. The highest level of your profession, you want to try it. Am I good enough?
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like the specific example I think you're alluding to. That's Steve Carell leaving The Office. So,
why'd he do that? But he wanted to see if he could make it.
Yeah, he made a few. I can't remember what order the movie. He made the Minions movies, a few others. So that's Todd Golden. Let's see if he can make it.
I mean, Tom Hanks was in one of those silly shows in the '80s and made a lot of money, and he acted like a fool, and he made a lot of. But you want to go see if you can make it on the big screen, right?
You got to make Forrest Gump.
The big screen, the big screen. Man, that's deep. That's a good analogy I just had.
Yeah, it was good.
I've used that a lot, by the way. That's mine.
Oh, that's a go-to.
Don't steal it.
Analogy, okay.
Don't steal it.
I'll try not to. I don't know. I can't. I like doing. I will relate literally any topic back to The Office and Michael Scott, so it's hard for me to not do that. So I definitely lit up.
Great show, isn't it?
Going down that road.
Great show, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And that thing runs now. They finally took Mad Men off. I was rewatching Mad Men. I've seen for years. They had these different networks pick up these shows, and they'll run them for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, right?
Oh, yeah.
When I get home, every evening I get home, I take the clothes off, put on some pajamas or whatever, get some dinner going, settle in my TV, and I want to catch up on some news, right? What's going on in the world. And I also want to catch up, on some sports stuff. But as I'm flipping around, one of these channels every night has multiple Office on.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, I can't not go to
the whole thing.
I can't not go to see what the hell Dwight Schrute's up to. Right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be playing in syndication for a long. That's how you make the big bucks when you get to the syndication.
Yeah, and that's one that can go forever. It's relatable. There'll always be offices.
Yeah, I think there's over 50 different versions in different countries also. And
a lot of people don't know that was a British spinoff.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
And remember, he came on for a few episodes.
Oh, yeah, that was cool when that happened. Yeah. Don't let anyone gaslight you into telling you that the British version is better than the American version.
And I've seen
it's
some
not.
of them.
They're silly.
Have you watched them?
Yeah, I watched the whole series. Man, British humor is just like,
It's different.
I don't know, man.
It's different. And if you start...
Maybe I'm just not smart enough to get it. I don't know.
If you watch British comedy enough, you can start getting it a little bit, and it is funny. I watched a lot of the British Office, too. When The Office got so big, one of these networks started broadcasting, the original it was copied from.
Yeah.
And it was funny, but I thought and I think they collaborated together, right? Gervais was a big guy over there, and they all collaborated to move the American over here. They did a really good job. The Dwight in the British was a wacko like the Dwight. They did a good job, I thought, crossing the characters.
Oh yeah, the first season of the U.S. version is basically not quite a shot-for-shot remake, but the plot is exactly the same, so that they kept it the same, and then. I think at the end of season 2, they started to kind of do their own thing.
Did you watch The American Office from the beginning? Because I did not.
No, I didn't actually start watching it until I think season 5 was airing. Yeah. And I went back and I watched them all new after that.
I remember, and this happens with me with a lot of your shows, your popular shows. I don't do them the first run a lot of times. I can never guarantee, when I say first run, meaning The Office probably was on every Wednesday at 8:30.
Yeah.
I can never do a show like that because I never know if I'm going to be home every 8:30, right? I catch them. I can remember several of my friends going, dude, do you watch when it was on the first run here in America? Man, I was like, what? The what? No. And then I started watching after it kind of ran its course.
Yeah.
And you got to love it.
That's how it goes.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's something that kids in the next generation is not going to understand that at all. Like mine has, we actually stayed in a hotel recently, and my 5-year-old had she did the concept of a commercial break. Like we just had on the regular Disney Channel. And
really?
She was like, where's the show? How do I get
really?
The show? Oh yeah, she had no idea what that was.
Really?
And so like having to time up, like all the shows now come out on streaming services, so there is no none of that. That's
so
a whole foreign thing.
When she gets older, and even the young people now, do they hit stop so they can go to the bathroom or go get something to eat? Or
she knows how to do that. Yeah, she can turn the TV on and get it to Netflix and get it on the kid profile and just boot it up.
So she has no clue what the commercial breaks are.
No, yeah, she was just like, why is this playing? Like, what is this? She was just completely I don't know what she wanted to buy. She saw it was all toy commercials though. She just wanted to get all the stuff.
Wow, isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that crazy? It's almost like they advertise things that they want the kids because they're what? Hey, wait.
A light bulb went off.
And you're doing this to her, right? Hey, whoa, hey, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I think it's about time for us to go to the pool.
Yeah, let's go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes. No, we can't buy you Taylor Swift tickets. I promise.
No, definitely not.
All right, as we break, let me tell you about our good friends, one of our newer sponsors, Norvelle Realty, in business since 1986, buying or selling real estate. That's key, man. They know what they're doing. This is not some Johnny-come-lately. They know the entire transaction. They know this area. Norvelle Realty, their philosophy is very simple. Clients come first. They pledge to be in constant communication, and you hear that a lot with real estate buying and selling. The buyer or seller, you don't hear from the people that are supposed to be helping you. They'll be in constant communication. They know how important that is at Norvelle Realty, keeping them their clients fully informed throughout the entire buying or selling process. They believe that if you're not left with an amazing experience, well, then Norvelle Realty has not done their job, and they will not let that happen. They don't measure their success through achievements or awards, but rather through the satisfaction of their clients. Take my word, take Patrick Young's word. We both vouch for our buddy Lee Norvelle, not related to Terry Norvelle. We spell it different, but I've known Lee since 1986 and probably a little bit before then. A local guy, been in it a long time. If you're looking to buy or sell in our geographic area, you cannot go wrong. You can be taken care of, I guarantee you, by Norvelle Realty. All right, starting to wrap up hour number 1. We'll come back, kick off hour 2. We'll hear from Brent Beard as we go. A lot more topics. Masters round 2 update. Where does college football go if everybody stops playing spring games? Most of the games are tomorrow. And Jac Caglione, former Gator, is absolutely smashing the baseball in minor league baseball. We'll talk about some of the numbers he's put up. and how quickly he may pop up with the Kansas City Royals. That and a whole lot more. Hour 2 coming up on the Young and Norvelle Show after this timeout. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, let's kick off hour number 2 as we start wrapping up a Friday and a solid week of broadcasting here. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed bringing it to you. Terry Norvelle. We'll go to Brent Beard quickly, momentarily, but let me give you a quick Masters second round update as the second round is slowly coming to a close. Justin Rose, still your leader. He's in the clubhouse with a second round 71. That puts him at 8 under for the tournament. Bryson DeChambeau went 69 round 1, 68 today. He's in the clubhouse one shot behind Justin Rose. And Roy McIlroy shot a 72 and even par yesterday, and he expected a better round. He finished tough yesterday, but he came back today. Roy McIlroy right back in the thick with a 66 today. He is 6 under and right in the thick of things, so good for McIlroy. He put a 66 on top of a 72. Those are your leaders. A lot of guys still on it. Well, not a lot, but quite a few top-level guys on the scoreboard are still wrapping up, so we could have some more movement. But Rose, DeChambeau, McIlroy, all in the clubhouse. That is 8 under, 7 under, 6 under as we head to Saturday. With that, we welcome Brent Beard. Brent, I know you've probably settled in on a Sunday, the back nine of Masters. Boy, that's a lot of fun, isn't it, when it's a tight, good leaderboard?
Yeah, it really is. And you get some surprises from time to time. A couple of the old codgers like you and me have been close to making the cut. So that will be nice to say to see. Great, they're having great weather there, and they deserve
and don't you love? You're a Southern dude. I'm a Southern dude, and just there's some bad Southern tradition, and then there's some really good Southern tradition. Mm-hmm. The Masters is good Southern. You know what? They're a private institution. They do their tournament. They do it their way. They keep their traditions. They try not to ruffle anybody's feathers. People that get mad at the Masters for being so elitist and so closed, well, they're the ones that are not in there. And, you know, I love that we still have one group like the Masters that does it their way, right?
Well, the great thing about the Masters is like college football. Whatever issues that you have, when you get on the field and you get on the course, it all goes away.
Agreed.
The game saves us in college football, and the course saves us in the Masters.
Brent, I know getting to college football and different topics with you here over the next here in this second hour. We've brought this up before with where college football is at now. It's professional football. And I've been trying to warn folks. I can remember way back in the season, before last season, I said, listen, the things that you see happening good and bad in the NFL, that's all going to trickle down to the college football because it's pro football. And I remember pointing out, I said, listen, you folks, there's a lot of things you got to get used to that's going to happen. And I remember pointing this out. I said, get used to, there are going to be situations where players are going to hold out.
That's right.
They're going to hold out. They hold out in pro sports, and I think that's what we've got going on with Tennessee quarterback Nico. I think he's pretty much holding out now, wanting to rework his contract, and I don't think this is a one-off. I think you might start seeing stuff like that. Have you heard all this Pete Thamel stuff? And Thamel said, yes, he did not show up for practice, and it is pretty much, I want to rework my deal.
Nico's at a crossroads right now. How he handles this is going to determine his future in college football.
Yeah.
And especially his legacy with Tennessee. Now, people salivating at him transferring to their favorite SEC can forget that because Terry and I made the point over the last few years, you cannot transfer within the conference in the April portal. And the April portal starts on the 16th, which will be Wednesday. But to your point, Nico, as we understand, and his representatives, want $4 million a year. Okay, tell me who is going to pay $4 million a year for a guy who has 19 touchdowns. 11 of them came against Chattanooga, UTEP, and a depleted Vanderbilt at the end of the year. If this
Zach did a great job of pointing that out. That man, that looks good, 19-5. But you bust that thing down deeper. You go, what did he do against Georgia and Ohio State? The money guys.
If this guy had been the first team All SEC quarterback, I could see that. The reality is, and we've used this phrase to describe Mike White at Georgia, But Nico right now doesn't mean he won't be better. Nico right now is as average as days long.
Yeah, and from afar watching him, I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I'm a college football fan like you. My issue with Nico, I want to make 2 points and have you address. Number one, he didn't get any better.
No.
His first snap last year, he was the same guy. I'm not saying he can't get better, number one. But to his defense a little bit, I will say this. When I compare college football, and it's no different now than professional sports, there have been plenty of situations in the NFL, in the NBA, and in Major League Baseball where guys hold out and ask for more, and everybody in the world goes, you don't deserve any more.
Yeah.
That happens. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes those you don't deserve more guys get more.
They do.
And Nico may be playing the calendar. You know?
Well, sure he might. Sure. Well, yeah, there's no doubt about it. And look, I was on another segment a few minutes ago, and the host asked, can this be healed and he go back to Tennessee? And my answer is absolutely he can, because there ain't nobody behind him that's going to be any better. At this point, and to Terry's point, with the calendar. Now look, Terry and I have been saying this now for years. Where this came from, and it originated, is the national media wanting to pay every individual player $1 million to $10 million each, because these poor guys were indentured servants.
Sure.
Well, now we've got where the product. Look, you and I are okay about these players getting paid, but Terry, here's the reality: is that the really stupid thing about this is he's not going to have the public opinion behind him.
No.
Because everybody and their brother goes to work, and there's some guy or gal that is probably above them, that they think they should be above them and they should be the boss instead of them, and they don't like their performance. And this is what you've got here is people don't like mediocrity to be rewarded. And Terry, they want $4 million a year.
How do
you give him $4 million a year?
Yeah, I understand. I do think fans also need to get prepared. I can see these holdouts. If you really want to pressure a university, how about April 10th, first day of fall practice, and you've got a game in 3.5 weeks? I can see April holdouts, and you say, "Hey, man, I've been telling." I remember I used to the analogy. I was being a little facetious last year. I said, "Fans, you got to start looking at this different. There are going to be holdouts."
Yeah,
and
they really are.
And you know, I could see a team opening up the season and being on the road. I could see a guy on Thursday before they get on a plane saying, "I'm not getting on the plane. I'm holding out." You hold out to get what you want, and man, you talk about twisting an arm. Imagine you're the starting quarterback for XYZ University, and they have a pretty big game, 3.5 weeks. I mean, I used Emmett as an example. Emmitt Smith held out on the Cowboys for like 1 year for the first 3 weeks of the season. And they opened up like 0-2, 0-3, 1-2, 0-3. They finally paid him after they opened up 0-3, and Dallas went on to win the Super Bowl. Holding out is not something that's not going to come to college football. College football is professional football.
Well, and to go even a step further with that, when it's really going to get ridiculous is when our viewers and listeners' favorite team quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
Decides to hold out.
Get ready.
The playoffs.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah.
The holdout, the guy that you love, at some point over the next several years, that position guy is going to hold out, and you're going to say, "Get your,"
absolutely.
Be interesting to see how it plays out. And it'll be interesting to see if Tennessee brings in a quarterback in the portal.
Well, it will be. Let me read you something that just came towards me from Sean Salisbury, and I sent this to you, and you've got it in your email. But Here's your quote. If this is how we're going to do college football, then they should be able to cut players anytime they want,
Yeah.
attach buyout numbers to every player, and put a salary cap on the money available in the portal. Time to give these players a taste of reality. Also, need to tie academic progress and performance with their ability to get any money. We no longer have college sports.
Number one, I don't buy the academic part of the end of that, but all the other stuff you said, that Sean Salisbury pointed out, that's what they do in the NFL.
Yes, they do.
That's exactly what they do in the NFL, and that's coming. And then the very last part he said, we don't have college. Well, we don't have college athletics anymore. We have professional. Yes. So get used to it, Sean.
Right.
I don't agree with that whole academic tying it in. I don't think we're very far away from the student part getting eliminated. Now, is that 20 years, 15 years? I don't know. But no, can you read what he said? That first part again. Those first parts.
Oh yeah.
Read that again.
Yeah.
Please.
If this is how we're going to do college football, then they should be able to cut players.
NFL.
Anytime they want. Attach buyout numbers to every player.
NFL.
And put a salary cap.
NFL.
On the money available in the portal.
NFL.
Yes.
NFL. That's the NFL. That's professional football. Yeah. Interesting.
But again, the question is for guys like you and I, we're asked to speculate on how this thing turns out. But Terry, here's the other part of this. Do you want this guy to be the face of your program?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want this guy to be your team captain? Do you want this guy to stick his hands in the cement at the end of the year?
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. And let me go a step further here. And you probably already been able to figure this out. Terry, this is a long, drawn-out, ugly thing. What in the world is this going to be for him when they go on the road?
Yeah.
In the SEC. And Terry, for that matter, how are the Vol fans going to react to this?
I agree. I agree. The home fans are going to be upset as well. I want to give credit to our buddy Matt Hayes, and Matt as well as I do.
Yeah.
I heard Matt addressing this recently today, and he made a really good point. He said, "How's this going to play out in the locker room?" And I'm paraphrasing what Matt said, but he basically said, "Okay, this is all probably going to work itself out. The numbers will work out. There'll be a settlement. Blah blah blah. Get a new contract in the locker room come August, come September, October." Now, if you're winning, if Tennessee's winning big, it's going to be fine.
Right.
But what happens if all this water under the bridge and he's not playing well and Tennessee's not winning big? That's when it gets ugly, in the locker room.
Listen, last year he averaged 201 yards passing a game, which is 76th in the nation. So look, okay, we'll give you this deal, but Terry, what happens in the first of the season at the end of September? If he's averaging 185 yards a game, and he's about 50% completion on his passes, I mean, what he doesn't understand, and what his parents and agent or Uncle George, whoever's giving him advice for this, they don't understand is, man, he's going to have to be twice to three times better than what he was this past season, or it's going to get extremely difficult for him.
And, I always talk about the things we see in the NFL are going to trickle down to college football because it's pro sports. This happens, what I'm going to bring up, tying to Nico, in the NFL all the time. Nico's playing bad, let's assume. He gets his new contract.
Yeah.
He's a starter. They go in the year. He's not playing real well, but he got a lot of money.
That's right.
And he got a lot of money. And the head coach at Tennessee what's his name?
Josh Heupel,
Heupel knows, and Heupel goes, we really need to make a move here. But in the NFL, it's hard to pull the bonus baby out because of the front office, and you put your head coach in a bad spot too.
Well, and here's the other thing about this: who right now? Who are they going to go get right now in the portal? It can't be a guy, again, we said, from the SEC.
Yeah.
And I guess my point is, if you're a hot shot quarterback somewhere, do you really want to come get in the middle of this?
Yeah.
That, and your point really needs to be mentioned again. Boy, oh boy, Terry, you've been in a Division I locker room. You know good and well the boys are that they're not playing around when Nico has a bad game or two.
Yeah.
That probably would not be a real good locker room situation.
No, not at all. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think Nico is smart. He's playing the calendar. I think there's a reason he didn't say this January 15th when Tennessee can start thinking about quarterbacks and feelers, and I know you can't tamper, but you can still get started on, we might need a quarterback. Well, I think a lot of people have already been contacted. Yeah, they contact before. Anyway, let's move on from Nico. What kind of smoke is there around Nate Oats in Denver? Denver Nuggets jobs open. You heard Danny Hurley. You're now hearing a little Nate Oats maybe. Are you hearing much, or is it too premature?
No, it's just premature at this point. I'm not saying he may not be looking a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'll say this from the Alabama media I've talked to, and I think they would know that there's no real legs to that story.
Okay. I do think that Golden and Oats are. I think Oats is just like Golden. I think Oats is a young, dynamic, hip with it guy that would relate to NBA. I think Oats and Golden are both going to dip their toe in the NBA. If Alabama and Florida could get 5 more years out of each coach, I think they'd love it. I think Oats has been at Alabama maybe a year or two longer than. So if Bama got 5 more years out of Oats, they'd be at 10 or 11. If Florida got 5 more years out of Golden, that would be 8 with a title and with a bunch of Final Fours. It's just the way it is. I don't want either one of them to leave. I think they're great. I think they're at their age, and they've got the look and the dynamic charisma.
Right.
They'll both try the NBA, right?
I think so. Terry, I'll be honest with you. I think if they can get 3 more years out of them, they would be fortunate. But here's the reality of that. I mean, now they can pay those coaches as much or maybe even more what you get in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Terry, do you really want? I mean, I get it. It's the professional version of what you're doing. Do you really want though that? I mean, you've got what 35 games you're coaching.
Yeah.
Do you really want to coach 100?
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to factor that in. You got to factor that in.
Do. And I think both these guys have got young families.
Yeah.
And Terry, in the NBA. I mean, aren't you on the road for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that? Sometimes almost.
Yeah, you're gone a lot. Brent, stay with us. We're going to take a break, come back. A couple more topics before we get you out of here. Think about this during the break. Spring games are dwindling. I don't know if it's forever, but spring college football games, a bunch of them are coming up tomorrow. They're dwindling. If they go away, hopefully there's going to be a college thing in the spring. I think college football needs their brand to be seen in the what might it be? And also I saw a list today about great receivers coming back. Number 1, Jeremiah Smith. Number 2, Ryan Williams. Does Alabama have somebody to get the ball to him, man? He's such a dynamic receiver. And as the season went on, boy, he kind of went quiet because I think a lot of it was their offense. 2 topics we'll kick around on the other side with Brent Beard talking college ball on the Young and Norvelle Show. We continue after this timeout. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
We're back here. We'll get back to Brent Beard real quick. But, Zach, I want you to hit the NFL news about a quarterback situation in New Orleans. What were you saying?
Yeah, so Derek Carr, you can see here, is dealing with a shoulder injury, and people are thinking it's going to threaten his availability for next season. Kind of not unlike the DJ Lagway situation. I think there's more evidence here that he is going to need surgery. And people are kind of speculating that this may mean that they will be selecting Shedeur Sanders with their number 9 overall pick.
And they're 9, and you think Shedeur will be around?
Yeah, because the general consensus is that he has been slipping since basically since the combine. So potentially.
Good stuff, Brent. Good stuff, Zach. Brent, real quick before we get into some Alabama talk and Ryan Williams, what are your thoughts? I'm not sold on the 2 quarterbacks, Cam or Shedeur, but I lean more toward Cam. I'm not sure either one of those guys are just, take your franchise for 15 years kind of guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I mean, I would take Cam over Anthony Richardson or Jalen Milroe.
Agree.
I mean, Cam's a better passer. He does a really good job at throwing the ball at different angles.
I agree.
I mean, he can give you a little bit. I mean, Milroe can too, but he can give you a little bit with his legs, which would certainly help. So, I'm. And Shador is. I think Shador is okay. But Terry, I'm with you. I think those guys might be available at pick 25 instead of pick 5.
Yeah, and to me, it's just not one of those. Every year, there's no rule that says there has to be 2 or 3 just can't miss quarterbacks in the draft. I think this might be one of the years. Topics I teased a little bit. Let's start with Alabama. I looked at a list today, and man, it was so fun to watch Ryan Williams, a 17-year-old kid, burst onto the scene. And by about mid-season, you thought, man, this is going to be fun just to watch this guy. And he slowed down, and I'm sitting there going, well, why? Why did he slow down? And I'm going to throw it to you, Brent. I've got 2 theories. I think one part, Milroe was so inconsistent. And I also think one part might have been, and help me with this Alabama talk, Alabama didn't have an Alabama running back. And it was the first time in a long time Alabama didn't have 1 or 2 real threats back there. Who was it? Justice Haynes and these guys.
Yes.
Alabama didn't people didn't fear Alabama's running attack, which I think that didn't help the passing attack as well. Go ahead, Brent.
Jim Miller is going to be their lead back.
Yeah.
But Justice Haynes really probably is going to end up being a real star somewhere. I think he's that good.
Yeah.
He went to Ohio State. Another real problem, there were 2 problems in the Alabama offense. One was the offensive line between injuries and just playing. I mean, they never found a right tackle the whole year. It was just a revolving door.
Yeah.
Frankly, but to me, the real problem with the offense was Jalen Milroe was just too inconsistent. Look, UI or Zach would do a better job as far as accuracy than Milroe would. Ryan Williams got really frustrated with Milroe in the bowl game against Michigan. He could not throw about an 8-yard out to Ryan Williams, and he just threw his hands up in the air.
You know, you just said something. I don't mean to cut you off, but you just said something very, very thought-provoking for me about Milroe and his accuracy and about Ryan Williams. I think about the first half of the season, Ryan Williams made all these great acrobatic wow catches. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times to make a wow catch, the pass isn't on mark. I think he was making them because the pass maybe wasn't on mark.
That's right. Well, absolutely. So, and I think maybe the freshman wall kind of hit him a little bit,
maybe
at the end, but it was more the inaccuracy of Milroe than it was anything. Now, I'll say this with Ryan Williams, they've got Isaiah Horton who came over from Miami, and he's been one of the stars of spring, and they've still got Jeremy Bernard, if you remember, number 5.
Nice player. Came from Washington, I think.
Oh, yeah.
With DeBoer. Yeah.
But look.
He was nice.
But Terry, the 3 quarterbacks they've got, and I think Ty Simpson's your starter right now, Austin Mack, and then they've got the Keeley kid who came from Texas. They think it's going to be really good.
True freshman? He's a freshman, right?
Yes. Yeah, true freshman.
Dual threat, right, yeah.
I won't be surprised if one of those quarterbacks leave, and that would probably be Mack if he got in the portal. But that's more really. And listen, people talk about Alabama not making the playoffs, and they were basically 1 game away at 9-3. My stars, the reality of it is, Terry, it's amazing with that inconsistency at quarterback. They won 9 games.
Yeah, and this is all pertinent because Alabama opens up in Tallahassee. This is really pertinent, and I may miss this. I don't think I'm going to miss this, but I am all in on Kalen DeBoer. I think that was a tough shoe to step into year 1, and
no question.
I think Kalen DeBoer and Kyle Whittingham on the West Coast, and I'm going to say Utah and, West Coast, you get it. Yeah. Washington, that side of the Rockies. They are two coaches. I almost think they're the same guy. One's a lot older, but they are two coaches. I don't think a lot of people this side of the Mississippi know how good they are.
No,
Kyle Whittingham, if he was 20 years younger, he could come to Florida. I would go get him to come to Florida.
Yes.
And I think DeBoer, with a year under his belt, look out. And, man, Brent, we'll talk about this for the next 4 months. What a terrible spot for FSU to have Alabama coming in. I think Alabama rolls in with their hair on fire. And we got time to talk about that, but am I right on that into Tallahassee?
Yeah, I think you are. And look, as you and I said the other day, I'm not sure Thomas Castellanos is their answer at quarterback at all. I'll be honest with you. I think he and DJ Uiagalelei may be the same guy.
Same guy, maybe the same guy. Brent, tell me this is just a phase, and spring college football will make a comeback, but it's going away. You can see the next year there'll be more schools that say no game. The following year there'll be more. Is this going to be a phase? And if it's not, doesn't college football, there's value and they need the game of college football to rear its head for some branding in April. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be something to fill the void if these games go away?
I agree with you totally. I hope so, and I think so. Now, the number one they've got to do is move this portal out of April.
Sure.
This portal being in April, just foolishness, frankly. It's what it amounts to. And I know you got to sync it with the academic calendar and all that, but or the thing they really probably need to do is get rid of the April portal and just have the one in December.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that would probably help college football a lot. Now, if you're going to bring spring games back to fruition, you've got to do something different.
I agree.
And I think what's doing different is what Syracuse and Fran Brown and Dion and Colorado tried to do is play a game. I think that's what might be. I think the fans will love that.
I would play in a game between two schools. You and I have had this idea for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Or if they don't want to do that, I could live with joint practices.
Yep.
Absolutely. But joint practices, maybe one let the fans come in, but cover them. Yeah. I want to see. Last year, I want to see 17-year-old Ryan Williams at some point lining up all, even if it's 7-on-7 against hotshot Ohio State cornerback. Mm-hmm. And I want to see what happens. And I think the coaches would like to see that too. How advanced are they? But I hope something is figured out. Don't you? That college football, the NFL is a perfect example. The NFL doesn't play games during the offseason, but they have things that are big to their brand. The draft and free agency. That's big to their brand in the off season, and I think it matters in the season.
Yeah. Well, and the thing they've also talked about is doing OTAs.
Yeah.
Similar to what the NFL does, and having fans come out for one of those.
Yeah.
But again. My frustration is, you've got games tomorrow. None of them are on TV. Very few of them are on radio. And we've got one next week with A&M on the SEC network.
Yeah.
When normally, you and I remember when we had a noon, 2, 4, and 6 game.
Absolutely.
Your spring games.
Absolutely. And these coaches, and they're leaning on, we don't want to have our roster poached. We don't want to show. That sounds so 1988-ish to me. In modern, you know what? These guys are going to know. They're going to know who's good and who's bad. And you know what? If you don't want to lose your star players, do a better job keeping them.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they're you know what? If your wife or your girlfriend is looking around, do a better job of being a boyfriend or a husband.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right?
Sure it does.
And And don't let them look around. Brett, I'm not sure. Do you have some other news and notes, some spring game news and notes, anything we need to be aware of? I'm looking forward. I agree. The portals need to be moved. I can't wait, though, for the next 2 weeks or so. The football and the basketball portal overlap. Yes. We are about to get some we're going to have a waterfall here soon, right? We're going to have a lot of portal basketball and portal football news, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
I agree, and keep your eye on this House versus NCAA thing. That it went, without getting too deep in this, it went back to the judge, Judge Wilkins, and I think they're on the verge of making that happen. I think that will happen by July at some point. I think that's going to be extremely important too. So did we mention last time we were together, Zach Hernandez resigned at UNLV as D coordinator?
Yeah, we didn't bring it up. Is there some backstory? I mean, and Dan Mullen brought him in. He's a Mississippi State guy, right? Arnett had roots at Mississippi State. And is there anything on that?
Well, he resigned for personal reasons. But look, Terry, if you're going to do that, you do it in December instead of doing it in April. So I don't know.
I agree. It's awful late. But keep a couple more thoughts. But I want to throw this out before I forget. Do you have anything deeper on the health of Hugh Freeze? Is he okay?
It's funny you said that. Freeze came out yesterday and said that he's going to have some surgery.
Okay.
But he could have it after spring practice, or he could have it maybe even after the season.
Okay.
And what he said, and again, we're talking about prostate cancer here.
Yeah, for people who don't know, he's been diagnosed with a form of prostate cancer.
Right. And what he said was the doctors have told him that it's not very progressive.
Thank God.
Or as he put it, I think it's a slow progression.
Yeah. And help me out. Prostate cancer. There's one other cancer that I maybe I've got them mixed up. There's one that you get. It's a death sentence. They say.
Yeah. That's the
pancreas. Pancreas. Yes. Thank God. Yeah. So, but they think they've caught this early.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they told him, and that's what Freeze has said.
Thank God.
All along, absolutely, that it's in the early stages.
I mean, you get that C word, man. That C word that scares you.
Well, the good thing is there are a lot of folks now, and there are different treatments. I've got two friends who had prostate cancer, and without getting into too much detail, they had the seeds implanted. They're radioactive seeds that were implanted in their prostate, and now they're both fine.
Yeah, and the prostate cancer is why I'm going to get my new second colonoscopy, right? That's why we need to go get our colon. And being serious, get your colonoscopy if you're 40 and over or whatever.
And without becoming Dr. Kildare here, the show we grew up with, doctors will tell you, and as a lot of people know, I do some work in the medical field, and the doctors would tell you, you take the baby aspirin that is coated more. I thought this was interesting, Terry. More for your colon, than even to keep your heart. The vessels and the arteries going within your heart. So
interesting.
And look, baby aspirin's not much to do, is it?
No, not at all. That is really good news because this Hugh Freeze cancer stuff has come out not that long ago, and I'm like, man, to hell with football. I hope the guys he's okay. Yeah. You've got some more news and notes, and I cut you off. Jump in there.
That's okay. Georgia has their scrimmage tomorrow for the spring. There's still some stuff that they haven't come out yet, and they haven't announced that Gunnar Stockton is going to be the quarterback. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will do the. Yeah. Well, we're going to let the competition spill into the summer, but I think Gunnar Stockton's the guy that they want.
Yeah.
At this point too. Now their wide receivers are going to be important to watch tomorrow. Noah Thomas, who comes over from A&M. I think it's going to be really good for them. Kobe Young, that we're familiar with too.
Miami guy.
Yeah.
Got in a little trouble, right?
Yeah. But that has been all that off the field stuff's been taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, and before I get on some other schools, we'll throw this out here real quick. I'm hoping tomorrow, and I've heard various things this week, like you have, but I'm hoping that Billy Napier deals immediately with this situation.
Yeah.
And let's not give code words.
Yeah.
Let's just say, look, this is what's going on. We're going to have this done, or we're going to let it heal itself, and it will do it.
And you're talking about Lagway's shoulder.
Yes.
That they have not handled this well at all.
Well,
I don't think.
And you now correct me on this, Matt Hayes, who you mentioned a few minutes ago, who we both have a lot of respect for. I understand came out with some about that he had a something with his shoulder and a lower body injury.
How about that? And yesterday, I don't think you weren't on. I don't think yesterday. I led the show off. I think I led the show off yesterday. Compare the Jaguars' total transparency with Trevor Lawrence. It's non-throwing for Lawrence. Second surgery. They're very transparent. They're saying he's on a pitch count, and it's his non-throwing shoulder. And and here is the team an hour and a half up the road, Gainesville. They're cloak and dagger secrecy. Something doesn't smell right. I hope it all works out for Napier and Lagway, but man, they have not handled this in modern college athletics, where you've got to put this stuff out there.
Yeah, you do. And look, Terry and I both understand HIPAA stuff.
Yes.
That you've got to play within the rules of that one. But this is just one of those things to where you need to be able to ease the minds of your fan base. And the only way would be to do that in some form or fashion tomorrow.
First of all, Napier, Lagway, where did this come from? You played the bowl game. You played your last 4 or 5 games with your injury being a hamstring.
Yeah.
Never once was shoulder. So, I mean, were you bench pressing in January and hurt your shoulder? Were you throwing too much? It's just, I don't understand what's to be gained, this cloak and dagger secrecy they're doing.
Yeah, well, and I had my consultant friend explain to me today, are they trying to help or protect his draft status? And I mean, but the reality is, I mean, this is something that, I mean, look, everybody going into the draft has had something fixed.
Sure.
Or
sure.
Hell,
is he draft eligible? Is he?
No, but
he's not a third-year guy. Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't
know. He's got a couple more to go, but but again, the bottom line is do something there.
You're so right. You're so right, Brent. You're so right. Tomorrow, post scrimmage or whatever you call it, orange and blue. By the way, there's a huge. The orange and blue got a boost too. They're going to the Gator basketball team will be recognized at halftime, an extended halftime. Yes. Todd Golden will speak the play. So there should be a lot of stirring around the campus, double dip, and then Gator baseball is at home. But, Brent, you hit it tomorrow. The last thing Billy Napier, who some people, fair or foul, think, oh, Country Billy, Country Billy. The last thing he needs to do is step to that podium post-scrimmage tomorrow and start talking about, well, running back Brent Beard looked pretty good and wide receiver Terry Norvelle looked pretty good. No. You right? You see what I'm saying? Quarterback we brought in the portal, Harrison Bailey threw it around pretty good. And that big new defensive tackle, nope. The first thing he needs to do is address the Lagway situation. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Totally. And look, he doesn't have to spend 20 minutes on
it.
But all you need to do is just, if you've got a little statement prepared, read it. Well, we're going to get this. We're going to get this cleared up. We've either gotten it cleared up, and it's healing, or we're about to get it cleared up, and he'll be ready for the season. And look, I think you can do that, and people would accept that.
And I keep going back too, man. I'm not anti holistic healing and holistic medicine,
No.
but speaking of a large group, there's a large group that they hear the word holistic and they think, oh boy, hippie medicine. What in the world? He used the word. There may be some holistic treatment. Oh, I thought that was terrible. I thought that was why not say an island doctor in the Caribbean we're going to go to, right? with bones and incense. You're like, what in the world? You can't, Brent. That was a bad move saying holistic anything.
They have just got to be able to deal with that more because look, you deal with it because you've got a ton of people there tomorrow. You've got media who are there that won't be there probably any other time.
Well said, man.
And unless they deal with that, you're going to have media talking to students, the janitors,
Absolutely.
the police department, asking people, well, tell me what you've heard.
Yeah. I mean, these reporters are going to go to every little
yes.
Emergency corner because he didn't want to go to the local doctor, the team doctor.
Right.
And it's such a fresh Gator Nation still on such a high.
They are.
From basketball. The last thing you need is just this. What did Napier just say? Oh my God. The last thing you need is Napier to send Gator Nation into the 4-month offseason really sitting on eggshells with Lagway, right?
Yeah. Well, and see, and I don't know how much he's going to do this year, but you're about to start next month speaking to these booster groups. And you know when you're dealing with that, you've got to be able, you've got to have answers as to what's going on.
That's not Napier's strong suit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if he goes up there, Sarasota and Jacksonville and Gainesville and Miami and Pensacola, if he goes up there double talking and all, that's not his strong suit anyway. Just as a personality, we're all not great at the mic and the camera. Man, this could get ugly if he doesn't figure this out. And
So tomorrow is important. Terry, I also want to mention Miami has their spring game tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, Carson Beck obviously won't be able to play. They're really high on Mark Fletcher at running back. They think he could be one of the better running backs in the league. Their strength this year is their offensive line.
Yeah.
They think their offensive line could be very good. They've got some playmakers at wide receiver. At least they think they do. JoJo Trader, also C.J. Daniels, some guys that they like too. And that offensive line, they think maybe the top 4 offensive line come back.
Yeah.
James Brockmeyer, who was in Alabama.
I remember him. Yeah.
They like him. Marco Bell, left tackle, right guard, and S. Cooper is there too. So look, I'm not saying Miami's going to be great.
Yeah.
Reuben Bain may be great. Reuben Bain got hurt in the opener against Florida.
Like the second play of the season, he got blown out. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, and never really played.
No.
The rest of the year. So that's a guy they need to be going. But boy, oh boy, how big is that?
Third
game with Florida and Miami?
Third game, yeah.
Third game of the year. Wow.
Gonna be huge. I want to go back to a program that we've got 4 months to talk about, and then all season. I am so intrigued about what direction are they leaning. 13-0, we're back, even though they had a good year, or is this program leaning 8-4? Okay, you can't keep on the. I'm so intrigued with Georgia Bulldog football.
Yep.
And I know they went deep, but they didn't have a Georgia year. You know what I mean?
No.
And you felt a little chink, almost like Alabama. You felt a little chink in the armor, even though they went deep. Would you agree with that? And then they had the quarterback situation. I am so intrigued. is Georgia going to be closer to 13-0 or 8-4? I'm really intrigued with Georgia this year.
Yeah, Nate Frazier, running back. They've got to get some depth behind him.
They do need depth behind him, yeah.
But look, my Lord, the wide receivers have got to be better than they were last year too.
No doubt.
I really thought Dom Lovett coming in there from Missouri would be a gold mine for them.
Really was, and he was there 2 years, and really was disappointing. He was a player at Missouri.
He was, and frankly, probably should have stayed at Missouri.
Yeah,
because he'd have had Brady. You got Brady Cook in that bunch. That's going on too, but Georgia's got problems on their offensive line. They've got to fix that.
And that's so weird to say.
It is.
They have had 8 NFL guys for years on that depth chart. Weird. It was so weird to see Georgia's offensive line not be dominant.
Agree very much. But I mean, defensively, I think they'll be okay. Frankly, I'm how that works for them. I mean, they just kind of reload, but Kirby has even said we just don't have the depth anymore.
Yeah, and you look at Kirby too. I don't think he's done by far.
No,
it almost looks like he needs a shot of caffeine, or just he needs to be. and last year may have recharged him again. They went deep.
Yeah,
but Kirby kind of. Man, that's been a hell of a program he's run for you, and that'll wear you out, man, being the top program for years.
And they've got, these Branch brothers are going to be good. Zachariah Branch at wide receiver. They really like him. We mentioned the Thomas kid at wide receiver a little bit earlier, too, and also Kobe Young. But again, they're
intriguing.
It is. There's no doubt about that. Tough schedule for them.
Yeah.
But that is what they prefer.
All right, Brant, good stuff. We'll get back together Monday. I'm not going to Gainesville. I'm taking a weekend off, but we got a lot of spring ball to talk about Monday.
And it's funny you say that. I think a lot of media are probably going to skip these spring things.
Yeah.
Because Terry, if you're and no one cares about this, but I mean, if you got to drive 2, 3, 4, 5 hours
for practice,
and you're going to get a practice, and maybe 15 minutes with the head coach, players, or maybe 1 or 2. They're trying to figure out, is this worth it for them?
I agree. Have a good weekend, Brent. We'll get back together Monday. A lot of spring football to talk about. That'll Spring Beard. We'll get out of here. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed bringing it to you. We'll get together Monday, 4 o'clock, for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law